bunch done today. Still got a ton more left to do. These guys, I can't actually do yet. They have the slotted base thing going on, and I need the bases without the slot in them so I can put magnets in them later. And I didn't consider that until just now, so those guys aren't going to be done. These guys so far are the ones that I found with it. There's probably more in there. The zombies are all good because the zombies were all, I think, from one set. So yeah, that's what they look like. What do you guys think? Looks kind of cool. I really like the grass. It's Army Painter Battlefields set, Highland Tuft. Pretty good stuff. I bought 3 kits because I had a lot of models, so I figured I would need them, and I don't think I will. I did, to do all of these guys took half of one, if you can believe it. Pretty cool. Just a short one on the update bit, showing off the bases. Altogether they look pretty nice. I like it. But let me know what you guys think, if there's something else that I could do. I think it was Old Git that pointed out I could mix it with blue wash. And I actually wanted to try that, but then I got excited and started and totally forgot about that, so I might do that with a future set just to test, or I might use it for like some separate project, because I think that'd be cool. And one thing I am running into, which it's lucky because the base color on the bases is already kind of this like dirty earth color, so it's fine. But the snow is actually fairly thin, and this is a good one because it's really bad on this one. But you can kind of tell, hopefully, you can see through it. It's kind of see-through. I think this is the worst one. Not all of them are that bad, but yeah, you can see through it, which it actually ends up being a decent effect just because the base itself was earth colored, so it just looks like dirt through it, but it wasn't as thick as I wanted, so I feel like the blue would give it a stronger opaqueness, I guess. So yeah, got a bunch done, quite a few. Alright, let's get on to the question, which I believe was if GW gave me the ability to create an army, what would I make? And this one I've actually put a lot of thought into over the years. In fact, at one point I tried to design an army that would fit in with the rules of the system. And actually my buddy, who I've mentioned before, he was doing that as well, and he took it another step further, and I really ended up liking his idea. Ultimately the ideas were scrapped. It was too much work to incorporate something like that into an existing system. But I did like what his idea was, and that was to do a 40k droid, like robot army. And I know there's Necrons, but the problem with 40k is all the armies are this grim dark setting where it's always just doom and malevolent forces, and everyone's kind of out for their own motives, and even the good guys kind of have sinister plans and schemes. And so the Necrons, especially with the latest fluff, where there's like a guy who collects art. What is up with that? Dude's a robot. He collects art. They really humanize them, and of course, the Necron are descendant from, I think, a race called the Necrontyr, who were actually humanoid organics at one point, who lived in a system that was too close to its sun, and it succumbed to a radiation, and so they had like shorter lifespans, and they were just kind of this suffering, dying race because they were too close to their sun. And so I don't remember the details, but I think they made some sort of pact with the old gods or something, and that's when the Devourer of Stars, I think, is what it was. I don't remember. Some Necron, or maybe it was the old ones, they struck a deal with them and they basically replaced their flesh with living metal, etc., etc. So they're not a true robotic race, right? They're basically cursed organics. And we weren't going that route. We were going more the route of like Star Wars, the droid separatist army kind of thing, where it was just truly unthinking machines led by a couple of, at a certain level, the ranking of machines, the intelligence, the artificial intelligence of the machines at a certain level became at least a proxy of being self-aware. And so these robotic droid leaders were semi-intelligent, at least, or free-willed. Kind of like, if you're familiar with the Mass Effect universe, kind of like the Geth race. So they're controlled, except for, I think the Geth are controlled by, there's a bunch of programs in a single platform, which is like a single guy. But it would be like, you know, at the top echelons of the military order or the government, there's machines that have dominance over the other basically non-sentient machines below them, like the traditional guys, like the rank and file dudes like this are just machines. They don't have will or intelligence of any noticeable sort. They're basically your toaster. And then this army basically is controlled by a higher level artificial intelligence who's kind of commanding everything from above. And we actually got really into depth with it, with units and things, and even mechanics. Like, they're elites, whereas most of the armies in the game, their elite forces are just more expensive troops. Like Terminators are the best example, but the Eldar have the Aspect Warriors. The Imperial Guard have the veterans and tanks. We thought for the droid army, it would be like you could basically spam walkers, almost like small walkers that had like armor values instead of toughness. And that would be kind of their thing, is that everything in the army had an armor value instead of toughness and saves at a certain size. Yeah, it was kind of cool. We had motives for it. Why it would go to war. I can't remember exactly why now. It was a while ago, but I believe it had something to do with they used to be enthralled to the Imperial race, like the Space Marines, the humans, basically. And because of their backwards worship of the machine god and the machine spirits, they essentially grew in their artificial intelligence grew complex enough to where it could start sensing things were amiss or not appreciating the wrongful way that the humans looked at them, regarded them, and so they kind of split away and started their own faction. I believe that's kind of the gist of it. But yeah, that would be my answer. I would really love to see a true robotic army. All right, there you go. What is this? Day 24, I think? Something like that. Maybe day 23. I don't remember. There we are. Snow base is done on, I think, about, I don't know, I can't. Probably about 40 of them I've got done. There you go. Day, I'm going to say 24 update.